Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Good evening and welcome back if you are returning from earlier. If you are new, welcome back or welcome in. And yes, Shane Culkin, I miss you terribly, dude. So Shane, we hit 100K subscribers. And you've got to go back and watch Potato's video. I'll send you the link in text. I'll text you the link. Potato made me the most beautiful 5-year, 100,000 subscriber video. It was amazing. It was amazing. If you were here, you know. If you know, you know. If you were here, you hear. Tomorrow, real quick, tomorrow at 3 p.m., we're going to be doing a call-in show. We're going to take your calls about Sebastian Rogers. And we're going to be talking about, when did Sebastian Rogers go missing? When was he last seen? So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow at 3 p.m. I will for sure. Thank you so much, Shane. Shane is a great friend, and so are all of you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, Kendi. Annie Pulley, welcome in. Meg, Casey Marie, Clover, Crimson and Clover. So how are you guys doing tonight? Ryan Brema, what up? Northern Beans. Thank you so much, Culks. What's up, Teresa Badia? I like your name, Teresa Badia. Like, don't mess with me because I'm a Badia. I like that. Sounds pretty badass.
I'm going to get drunk and ride my horse.
No, I'm really not. I don't have a horse. But what I do have is Scott Peterson's hearing from today. So we know the LA Innocence Project picked up his bullshit, and he's all on his bullshit, and he looks terrible, guys. I used to think he was actually attractive. And man, when I made the thumbnail for this video, I was like, damn. He doesn't even look like the same guy.
You're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I will. I'll text you the video, and I'm glad you're doing well, Shane. We miss you a lot. Love Flowers, hello, and Tara Ann Debna, Gypsy Witch Queen. Okay, we're going to get into this. It's short. It's 20 minutes long. He's got 2 more hearings after this one that he has on the books. Thank you for that, Robin. That's going to stay pinned right now. Justice for Lacey and Connor. I mean, we can't forget that little Connor and his beautiful mom, Lacey, washed up on the shore of the San Francisco Bay in the cold waters. In my opinion, he's got not one thing to smile about. I mean, ever. Because in his world, in everybody's world, he lost the 2 most important things. And he doesn't even realize or recognize that those were the 2 most important things in that man's life. And the more that I do true crime, the more I don't get into this. Like, I used to be like, oh my gosh, she's good looking. And, I'm not like that anymore. I see through the shit. And not that I was always like that, like not every person, but I'm talking Scott Peterson in general, But it's like, how can you even see past once you see all this evidence and his behavior? And we know he did it. It's like OJ, he did it, So I think I heard that a long time ago. Addicted to art and crime. Did you guys hear that he's talking to Casey Anthony? Scott washes his cellmate's underwear for 20 years, so how good can he look? Shane, you got a point. You definitely got a point. So this judge, let's listen to her and the Innocence Project lawyers talk about what is going on here and what they're wanting. This hearing was brought here because they want to seal evidence that they've put in, like discovery they've entered. I hope I'm explaining that right. Discovery they've entered, they want sealed. Well, the judge is like, well, what the hell? It's all redacted. Why do you need it sealed? It's weird. Just take a listen. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think. Again, the Innocence Project, LA Innocence Project lawyers, and the state defenders.
In the matter of People versus Scott Lee Peterson, case number SC 055500A. If counsel would like to state their appearances, starting with counsel for Mr. Peterson.
Good morning, Your Honor. Paula Mitchell, Los Angeles Innocence Project for Scott Peterson.
Thank you. Good morning. And counsel for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Victoria Vasquez, District Attorney's Office, Stanislaus County for the people.
Good morning.
Olivia Flanagan, District Attorney's Office, Stanislaus County for the people.
Good morning.
David Harrison, people.
Good morning.
On the right, just people, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning. And Mr. Peterson is present via Zoom. Mr. Peterson, can you both see and hear the proceedings?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Your Honor.
And do we have your consent to appear via Zoom this morning?
Absolutely, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We are on this morning for the defense motion to seal. The motion to seal was directed at a single exhibit that was attached to the motion under Penal Code Section 1054.9, as well as the people's opposition to that motion to seal and the reply that was filed on behalf of Mr. Peterson. I'm prepared to hear argument if all parties are ready to proceed. This was the defense motion. Ms. Mitchell, I will hear from the defense first.
Thank you, Your Honor. The motion to seal that's before the court is pretty straightforward and simple. Mr. Peterson is seeking to keep private certain witness information that was obtained from police reports for all of the reasons stated in our pleadings. So unless the court has any questions for us, we're prepared to submit on our pleadings, and we would respectfully ask for an opportunity to respond to any arguments the prosecution may raise today.
Okay, that's fine. You'll get an opportunity to reply. I guess the question that I have is every version of the exhibit, the one that was attached to your motion to seal and the one that was attached to the 1054.9 motion that is the target of the motion to seal, were filed with the court redacted. What is it exactly that you're seeking the court to seal, since everything that is in the record already has the redactions that you're looking for?
We're just asking for those redactions to be kept in place so that that information is not made public.
Okay, thank you. Comments by the people?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'll be brief. First, there was some debate on our end as to what was actually being requested by the defense in their motion to seal. Was it to file under seal solely that November 14th letter requesting post-trial discovery that they sent to our office, or were they looking to seal more? So we had some debate amongst ourselves. And the reason for that is the language in their motion makes it unclear what they're asking for exactly, because on page 4, line 21, they write, defendant Scott Peterson is asking this court for permission to file certain information under seal and a redacted exhibit that is public-facing in support of his motion for post-conviction discovery. The motion further states the redactions cover personal identifiers of witnesses, potential suspects, individuals with knowledge of potential suspects, and other sensitive information related to counsel's investigation. This seems to suggest more than just the November 14th letter, since both the motions and the multitude of exhibits attached to both motions contain redactions or omit information up to and including the point of having anonymous witnesses. Further, what we viewed as a potentially very vague and therefore expansive request also asked the court to permanently seal the items. This is evident in Mr. Harris's statement to the court when we were here last, where he said, as of this hearing, and it remains true today, we don't know who these witnesses are. This includes DM, ST, KM, KW, TS, and KD, assuming I have those letters correct because some of the redactions were such that it was kind of hard to see the letters. So this remains our concern. In his reply, the defense attacks the prosecution at one point and essentially accuses the people of lying to this court about witnesses who have not been identified to the people. That was at page 2 of their reply on line 10. Yet it was in fact counsel who stated, the identity of the witnesses whose names are redacted in the declarations that Mr. Harris is referring to have stated they are fearful of retaliation by the Modesto Police Department if their names become known and have asked that their names remain sealed. That's at the transcript on page 15. We just wish to ensure that in responding to these motions with very lengthy attachments, that we're able to address in a very fulsome way all of the various allegations being made in those documents. Further, as we've noted, they have requested redactions in that letter of 40 individuals and 2 addresses. Of those, 10 individuals and 2 locations are actually identified in the defense filings or their informal discovery requests. So a full 25% of those people, their names are already out there. Almost immediately upon the time of their filing, all of those documents were published by the media. So the information is out there. It begs the question how serious they are about protecting the names of these people, given that, at least outside of the people whom they only identify by initials. So there's a simple solution to that. If the concern is sealing of that particular letter,
Get your snap. Because snap.
that particular letter as an exhibit could be withdrawn from the motion. It does not add to their motion. It's not necessary to their motion. It largely provides the same information as what is contained in their motions. And it also injects a lack of clarity, since frequently what is suggested in the footnotes regarding what the content of the exhibits will be is not necessarily what is actually provided in the motion and the attached exhibits. And
Let's bring in criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Brian Silber, who is standing by watching this hearing with us. Brian, it's good to see you.
Oh my God,
this is a situation where
certain things.
Why'd they cut out?
We want to get
it. Make no sense. Why would they do that?
people are wrong.
New trial all these years later, saying that his rights were violated in that first trial. Let's go back in.
I don't get that.
So the defense's actions also speak to the seriousness of this motion. They now claim that the people are wrong, that the California Rules of Court 2.550 and 2.551 govern this motion to seal. That's in their reply at page 4, line 3. When it was the defense that filed this motion in the first place, stating this motion is made pursuant to California Rules of Court 2.550 and 2.551. The defendant does admit in his reply in a footnote that Mr. Peterson's motion to seal cited California Rule 2.550, 2.551, not that it was made pursuant to those sections. This sort of hit and run approach deprives the people of really understanding on what basis the defendant is claiming the legal right to seal anything. Instead of starting over, they just simply say, well, oops, and move on. Even under the defendant's new position, however, those rules are a good starting point. I would like to address one comment in defense counsel's motion that we have refused to provide any discovery to which they are entitled, is the claim. And I'd just like to note that current counsel substituted in and replaced prior habeas counsel on the pending habeas on November 13th of 2023. The next day, they sent us an email with the 50-plus page letter at issue here, requesting literally hundreds of items. the bulk of which had been either previously provided to prior counsel or no longer existed due to being affiliated with unrelated cases and the passage of 20 years, or never existed in the first place because their existence is based on supposition and speculation. And in addition to that, there was the request for DNA testing. So this letter arrived the week before Thanksgiving and the Christmas holidays. On December 14th, we suggested a meeting with them in January. And on January 17th, we were served with the motions at issue here. We have continued to review the various requests in these very lengthy motions as we work on our responses. This is an incredibly time-consuming process. And this is not the first time that the defense has brought such motions. He's previously brought both a 1405 and a 1054.9 motion. So in sum, our suggestion is simply to withdraw that letter from the discovery motion. Then no sealing discussion is even required. 2, we don't believe the defense has established good cause by substantive evidence for their request because there's no substantive evidence included. But the fact of the matter is, Your Honor, we don't really have a concern with having the pleading documents have initials for these citizens who've not been previously identified because we know who they are. We do, however, request full disclosure of the unnamed witnesses who we have no idea who they are. And having said that, just the last thing is when we're done with this portion, I have discussed with Ms. Mitchell a motion that we're going to be filing for judicial notice and something we'd like to file, and we've already given her a copy of the CD, and it's the complete reporter's transcript with an index. So.
Okay.
Get it.
All right, so let's stick with the motion to seal, and then I will take up that discussion that you just referenced. Ms. Mitchell, your reply to the people's comments.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Peterson has 2 objectives. One is to get the discovery and the DNA testing that we're requesting as soon as we possibly can. The second objective is to protect the integrity of our investigation that is ongoing. The motion to seal, I did not expect it would become this convoluted. I agree with Ms. Fladiger that it makes sense to withdraw the exhibit at this point. We don't need it. We're entitled to our discovery without it. So to simplify things and keep things moving forward, hopefully expeditiously, we will withdraw that at this time.
Okay, that's fine. The court will direct that the exhibit be returned to counsel, and it won't be considered as part of the motion. And that moots the sealing request. So there's no need for the court to rule on. In terms of the comments about judicial notice, what was the motion that you, what was the discussion that you and Ms. Mitchell had about dealing with that today, and what is the proposal, Ms. Fladiger?
So, Your Honor, we've both referenced in our various pleadings that to start with just today, and I've given Ms. Mitchell a copy. We have a motion for the court to take judicial notice of the entire reporter's transcript. We have included a CD that has the entire reporter's transcript on it, including an index, so that it's much easier for court and counsel to go exactly where they need to go with a citation. We discovered during this process that our reporter's transcript doesn't coincide with the defense's reporter's transcript, which is a problem in terms of citations. And so we're trying to address that issue now, early, and make sure we're all citing to the same transcript. We will, at a later time, I think with the filing of our motion next Monday, also be requesting additional judicial notice, and we will include at that time additional CDs, and that includes some of the very documents the defense has requested as well, such as the new trial motion, California Supreme Court opinion, petition for habeas, and a variety of other documents. We'll put them all in one CD.
Okay. So what is the proposal for today? Are you essentially just previewing that that's coming, and are we trying to set some kind of a filing schedule for the request for judicial notice in case there's either opposition or a difference between what the people are asking for judicial notice of and what the defense is seeking judicial notice of?
Well, if Ms. Mitchell is in agreement, we'd like to go ahead and submit this motion to the court today. I don't believe she has an opposition to it. It would get the disc in the hands of the court that much more quickly.
Okay. Ms. Mitchell, comments by the defense?
I haven't had an opportunity to look at this yet. I would like to review it and compare it with our copy of the record and make sure I understand what the differences are. But I don't foresee any objection. I just would like an opportunity to review it first.
Okay, that's fine. So if Ms. Flanagan...
All right, we're going to hit the pause button because we do have to get to a break. But you heard there, it sounded like the defense counsel for Peterson says at this time they're going to withdraw that motion to seal those witnesses because they don't need this exhibit, but certainly still a concern for them. They want these witnesses who...
That girl looks like Nicole Richie. I don't know why they do this. Okay, here we go. We're back.
Yes, Your Honor, one additional thing. In the record, in the pleadings, there are citations to exhibits. And people will be citing to numerous exhibits as well. Our understanding, those are exhibits are currently in Modesto, so that's going to create an issue for this court to be able to see those. So what we're attempting to do is either photograph or use from the clerk transcript on appeal, copied versions of some of those particular exhibits. We would like to save the court and your clerks the time of trying to figure out how to take an exhibit that already exists and with a new exhibit and giving it a new number and so on and so forth. Is, again, if it would be agreeable with Ms. Mitchell, what we'd like to do is those particular exhibits, we will keep the same numbers from the trial. We will identify them as trial exhibits with those particular numbers. If they are a document, we will attach the document. We will take photographs of the exhibits as they have done with their motion, for example, on the boat cover. We will put all of those onto one particular disc, and we would like to, again, lodge those with the court because I don't think the court or the clerks wants to file duplicates of what's already in the court record. And some of them may be under seal that we are asking the court to deal with based on, for example, some of the autopsy pictures. The other thing that would be a potential issue in the defense's pleadings, they have referred to certain bait stamps, as we refer to them, police report pages. We will be having those citations as well. Those are not part of the trial transcript, but they may have some of the same type of information if it was a tip page, where there would be information that would need to be redacted. Again, what our intention is that we will identify them by bait stamp page number, and we will have a separate disc for those particular items. So we'll have one that's a court exhibits, one that will be something that refers to prior discovery, and we will attach those as part of the procedural attachments to our particular responses to the next two motions.
Okay. So essentially what you're asking is to whether or not, Ms. Mitchell, are you going to have any objection to either the procedure or the nomenclature for exhibits that's proposed by the people in their filing of responses?
What are your feelings?
Is the prosecution planning to include all of the exhibits, everything from trial, everything?
It's not our intention, but when we specifically cite to one, we are going to provide it to the court. So it's either we ask the clerks to obtain it from Modesto and bring it to the court, which might be difficult in some cases, or we attach the photograph like they did to theirs. So we think that's the easiest for the specific exhibits that we are going to use. If the defense wants us to include some, we could add those to the discs as well if they'd identify them for us.
Okay, so bottom line, what you're proposing, Mr. Harris, is that when you file your responses to the pending motions, either the trial exhibit or photographs, you want the numbering conventions for those exhibits to remain consistent with the trial to save duplication of effort. You're willing to meet and confer with the defense to include in the materials that are provided to the court with trial exhibits anything that they might be citing to. Am I correctly stating your position?
Yes, that's acceptable to the people.
And Ms. Mitchell?
No objection.
Okay, that is fine. To the extent that you believe that it is necessary to file any of those things under seal or lodge them and seek court permission to file under seal, that will require a separate motion. I can't do that by stipulation. But you know, the process that we went through today, 2.550A3 seems pretty clearly to exempt things that are lodged in a discovery motion and in connection with the adjudication of a discovery motion from the procedural requirements of 2.550. So,
Your Honor, one additional thing.
Sure.
Some of the exhibits, actually, if the court has looked at the exhibit index, the court will note that there are an extensive amount of items that are sealed currently.
okay.
So technically, we could provide those to the court. They are already in a sealed condition. There's never been an order lifting those seals from any of the courts that have reviewed. So I think the court could just, if the court was to go downstairs and look in the exhibit room at something that's already sealed, we provide it to the court, not filing it, so that it does not become a new public record, so to speak. It would just be something that the court has under seal already.
I mean, if there is already an order sealing that exhibit and you're providing essentially a duplicate copy or a photograph, I don't think there's any barrier under 2.550 to filing it under seal because you have a sealing order. That's fine.
Potentially we can confer with counsel or see what she indicates is the bait stamp pages, as they included them in their pleadings, it was more of sometimes cut and paste or attachments. For example, the tip sheets, as I mentioned, there are a lot of tips on there which has information from other individuals that's irrelevant to what we'd be offering. So we would put those bait pages in redacted except for the tip that we would be referring to or whatever information we're referring to, and identify it by the base page number and attach that as a separate disc. So we can deal with that one separate and apart from what's already previously been admitted in court.
Okay. Any thoughts on that, Ms. Mitchell?
No objection.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Is there anything else from either side before we recess for the day? Okay. Thank you all. Have a good day. That'll conclude this hearing.
That is it. So they have 2 more hearings about getting evidence and getting all of this stuff. Ew. Oh, why is that on my screen? Go away, vein 111, 911, emergency, get that thing off my screen. Fuck. So the evidence that they're wanting to bring in, and they want to test DNA evidence. I don't know on what, but I know that there was a burned up van. It was, I don't know, like a few blocks away. And it had a mattress in it that had blood on it, and I guess they didn't test it. So that's one of the things. And then the other thing was the robbery across the street. And then there were witnesses that said they saw Lacey on the other side of town. But if you follow the evidence in the trial, and you have to really read the trial transcripts because it wasn't televised. Hi, Justice Jane. These witnesses that said they saw her walking were blocks and blocks and blocks away from Lacey's house. And during the trial, Lacey's doctor, or I don't know if it was the doctor that testified, but it was testified that in her medical records, she had made calls to her doctor because she was, used to doing those walks with Mackenzie, the dog. And they told her not to because she was getting lightheaded and stuff. So they put her on bed rest. So she's not going to be spotted on the other side of town if she's ordered on bed rest. I think she would have followed the doctor's orders. Sassy Southern Leonard, hey, just found your channel. So glad I did. Thank you for covering this. This trial is what sparked my obsession for true crime. This was one of my first cases as well, Sassy. Yeah, it was far. Want me to show you the map? I think he might have been poisoning her as well, Groovy. I'll show you the map of the other witnesses. Hold on. Scott Peterson. Okay. Let's This is Lacey's walk. And his sister-in-law has like this big like thing for him. I don't understand it. All right, here's the map. So his sister-in-law has this big thing for him, like, oh, Scott Peterson's innocent. I don't know if she's got like a real thing for him or what. But she's been on this shit for years. And she finally got people from online. They went and met each other and joined her to dig through his discovery. But I know it's really difficult to read shit. Where's Loma Linda? I can't read that bullshit. Am I just blind? Because I'm getting rid of that bullshit. I got to find one that's clearer. I'm sorry. I can't read that. My eyes are 50 years old, so don't make fun of me. Here it is. Okay, here's another one. Let's get that up over here. Okay. Much easier to see. So Loma Linda, let me see let me get the key image on here. Or whatever you call that thing, the key. So the green place mark. Let's see, where's their home? Kenzie Seenham Park. 523 Covina. Okay, so place mark 1. There we go. The little person, duh, that's Lacey. Okay. And then that's not the right freaking thing, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the damn sightings. Okay, this is the best one I can find right now without digging into Janie Peterson's files. Because Janie Peterson, she got some files, y'all. This is part of what his sister-in-law, she's married to his brother. That's actually Lacey's walk. Like the route she would take. Let's get rid of that. Okay, hold on. Bear with me a minute. This is what his freaking sister-in-law has put together. This is just Lacey's walk and shit. And there were like people that said, "Oh, I saw a lady walking a dog," and then like it wasn't even a golden retriever, you know, like it's just eyewitness accounts. But that's what Janie Peterson's put together. She's really believes in her brother-in-law's innocence. And this is what she claims is the regular walking route. I think this comes from her too. And then the Lacey sightings. Do you see how far they are? I mean, some of them are so far as down by where it says Modesto, DMV. Look how many blocks that is. She was pregnant and she was on bed rest. Yeah, there were so many people in that neighborhood that walk their dogs. So, and there was other ladies that were wearing, you know, other similar clothing, and another lady that was pregnant that was walking a German Shepherd. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking, Global. How are you, Global? I think Janie is obsessed too, Robin. It's kind of disturbing. It's a little bit disturbing. And I don't like, the only thing I don't like about it, you know, more power to Janie. Who knows? Maybe she's on to something. Stranger things have happened. But I don't like them using Lacey's name in their hashtags. That's the only thing. The Scott Peterson appeal, she runs that site. And I just don't think that they should use Lacey and Connor's names like that. But I mean, I guess they got every right to, just like anybody else, right? So let me show you that was the one thing. And then there's the burned up van. I'll show you a picture of the burned up van real quick. Peterson burned van. It's like the Mystery Machine and it's burned up. I think somebody was cooking meth or some shit. Modesto, like right on the edge of where Scott and Lacey lived, is pretty sketch. Even back then, it was borderline like, you know, you cross over a certain road. God, I keep getting like, weird because I haven't been wearing my glasses and now I am. And I have an astigmatism. So if I get like weird dizzy, it's because if I move too fast, I have freaking bifocals too. I'm old as fuck, guys. I told you. Okay, here's the burned up van. Does that not look like somebody might have been cooking meth or some shit? But maybe they tried to destroy evidence. I don't know. But the mattress was in the back. So if you're going to try to destroy the evidence of the bloody mattress, you might want to like burn the back. Probably Groovy, probably right into her bedroom. Maybe.
I'm sexy and I know it. I work out.
That's probably what he says. Janie, I work out. No, Chandra Levy was from Modesto, but she was actually unalived in Washington, D.C. Cooking up the methane. She really does, Shane. She really does. That's so cool, Sassy. You always remember that first case that you know, get enthralled with more sightings than Elvis. I did Kaleidohope. I knew that she was seen down there with sonar. I interviewed her sister a long time ago and she had mentioned that. But yeah, I did hear the latest. They're going to go look for her. I hope they find her. I hope they bring Stacey Peterson home. And then I hope they can fucking shut that Drew Peterson up, put a sock in it. There was a robbery across the street. Yeah, but I don't think a pregnant woman on bed rest is going to be fucking around with a robbery across the street while she's, you know, worried about making things for Christmas Eve and probably tired as fuck and swollen. And her asshole husband says, oh, I got to go to work. I got to do this. I'm going to do that. And you know, and they probably got in a fight because he wanted to go fucking doing his own thing. He didn't want to hang out with her on Christmas. Obviously. He makes me mad. No, that van was a different color. Smoke and mirrors, Kendo. It's smoke and mirrors. Anything to get his ass out of the big house, the clinker. No one else did this. So they're saying that the DNA from the inside of the van was insufficient to determine whether DNA from Lacey or Connor was present. So I guess now they have better DNA testing. You know what? Test it. It's not going to be them. So I don't think it will be. That's just my opinion. Stay away from Peterson's. Yes, Scott, Drew. Bleh. You had a life back then, Lisa Rose? Yeah, 2002 already, you guys. The van, I'm going to see exactly where it was found. Let's see. I don't think it was anywhere near their house, but I might be wrong. Let me look. Oh, less than a mile. See, I was wrong. The van was found less than a mile from the Petersons' home the morning after she disappeared. Brian Spitulski, the fire investigator in Modesto, investigated the burnt van that was found the morning after Lacey's disappearance in December 2002. The vehicle, located less than a mile from the Peterson home, had a mattress in the back that had some red and brown stains on it. stains on it, which Spatulski feared was human blood. Spatulski claims that despite the location of the van, he never heard from the defense or prosecution at the time of Peterson's trial something. Wait. Sorry. Spatulski claims that despite the location of the van, he never heard from the defense or prosecution at the time of Peterson's trial, something that he found shocking due to the importance of his findings. This has always been one of those things that kind of sits in the back of your head and kind of bugs you a little bit, he said. And you kind of wonder, why didn't this happen or why wasn't it brought up? I don't know that I was tying the moment to Lacey, said Spatulski of the discovery of the van. I was more tying the moment to the fact that it was human blood. It made it look like this was much more important than a burnt vehicle that somebody was just wanting to get rid of or to cover up a simple crime. Dun, dun, dun. We'll see. Who knows? The Los Angeles Innocence Project, a nonprofit organization that's probably going to get a lot of donations, announced they took on the case. 4 motions were filed, including a motion for DNA testing. If the evidence pans out, as the Innocence Project says, this could be a game changer. Peterson's attorney said that she and Peterson were thrilled to have the help of the LA Innocence Project. Peterson has always maintained his innocence. He's currently serving a life sentence at San Quentin, but he's not in San Quentin. Or is he? No, he's in Mule Lake Prison. Mule Lake Prison in California. So here's the burnt mattress. Let me show you a picture of that. God, the picture looks so old. That's the burned up mattress that's in this burned up van. Yeah, there's a lot of movies on the Petersons, or not. I mean, there's movies on both of them. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. That is our Scott Peterson update. Tomorrow on the docket for tomorrow is Wonderful Wednesday. We're going to be live streaming at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The question tomorrow is, when did Sebastian Rogers go missing? When did he go missing? When was Sebastian Rogers last seen? Hopefully you'll join me at 3 p.m. tomorrow. I will be taking your calls. See what you guys are thinking about this case. You can scream at me. Tell me how mean I am. You're mean to Seth. You're mean to him. I'm not mean to him. I'm looking at everything. I want Sebastian Rogers found and brought home either way. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. I think that's it for now. Mule Creek. What did I say? What did I say? Mule River? Fuck, I don't know. Thanks for joining tonight. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more. We're going to run a little bit of credits. And then we will dance it out. I love you, Shane. Thank you for stopping in. You know what? I actually was just talking about you last night, and I'm like, he's working a lot, and he comes in when he can. I must have, I manifested you coming in. Love you guys. Mwah. Love ya.
Bought snacks because, he's 15 and snacks.
Roly-poly, daddy's little Patty. Daddy's gonna be a man someday.
I'm gonna get drunk and ride my horse.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently.
Cocaine.
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 It's cocaine.
It's cocaine.
Sit down,
bitch, sit down.
Is it one Jennifer or two Jennifers?
Jennifer loves horses. Why were you telling her not to fuck herself?
Is it one Jennifer?
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Bye, Jennifer.